I really think Ryan Murphy is the reason we have gay rights. I'm just going to say it.
I think you're right.
We just don't give Ryan enough credit for all he's done.
Hello, welcome back to Glee on the Rocks. This is the podcast where we break down the highs and lows of the writing, the music, and the cultural impact of a network TV show that ran 6 seasons and ended 5 years ago. I am Emily.
I'm Mandy.
And I'm B.
And this is season 3, episode 13, Heart. It's the Valentine's Day episode.
Honestly, overall impression, a pretty good episode. If you took out that one plot line, it would be close to perfect, which is saying something for Glee.
That's our recap. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Oh, that could be about literally any episode in season 3.
Yeah.
It's true. It was fine, except for that one thing.
There were 2 plot lines I didn't really like in it, but I still enjoyed the episode overall.
Okay.
Twist.
Well, let me quickly read. The plot of this episode is as follows. In honor of Valentine's Day, Will challenges the Glee Club to find and perform the world's greatest love songs. Brad Falchuk directed this. Ryan Murphy wrote it. I'm sure there's more plot that we could the Glee Wikia had like a 6-page plot summary, and I just could not handle that today. There's stuff about needing money for costumes. We'll get there. Who cares? Really, this is about the fact that these people do not understand what the world's greatest love songs are. Not even remotely.
Like one.
I think I wrote down that there were, in my estimation, 2 songs that could maybe qualify in like a top 100 list of great love songs. And it's not stereo.
Gotta have at least one top 40 hit. Gotta sell those iTunes.
There were like 4. Not that I'm complaining. I just think that no one really paid attention to the assignment. Where was the Gershwin? Just think, I think they didn't go to the record store this time and look for the good old-fashioned love music.
I mean, the Barry dads had it better, I think.
I mean, that was the highlight of this for me. I forgot they were in this episode, and when they showed up, I was like, oh my god. Yeah. My favorite side characters in all of Glee.
Yep. Mr. Barry.
The Mr. Barry.
The Mr. Barry. I think that's a perfect reason. I mean, we could talk about the plot, which really is that Sugar is going to throw a Valentine's Day party at what she is going to dub the Sugar Shack, and no single people are allowed. But really, this is an episode about Rachel's dads.
Yeah.
100%. They pull focus. 100%.
They can't help but pull focus.
Right.
They are Hiram and Leroy. Not Leroy, but Leroy. Played by Jeff Goldblum and Brian Stokes Mitchell. And I know it's a bit of a running joke that Rachel's 2 dads started out as 2 completely different people.
Yes.
But how are you supposed to complain when this is your casting?
Okay, a major upgrade.
It was a glow up.
Yeah.
It was the original glow up.
Yeah, because the picture from like season 1, episode 1 is like 2 completely just normal looking.
Yeah, they're like stock photo dudes.
Yeah. And Jeff Goldblum is anything but a normal looking stock photo dude.
Nope.
So
that, and like, all right, are there issues? Potentially, but let us have this, goddammit.
I know.
Nobody's perfect. Except for Hiram and Leroy.
Exactly. What I was going to say is exactly right.
So I wrote coming in clutch on my notes for them.
The fucking scene that makes me think of the scene where he's talking about the car, but
It is
it's all like double entendre. It's
yes.
perfect.
That line is, I think, top 10 of the greatest Glee lines. Because it's funny, but also it's dirty, and that's really what we want from this show. This guy sold us the wrong lube.
It was so good. I guess that's why Ryan Murphy had to write this one. He was like, I have this joke that they have to make.
He's been waiting 6 years to tell this joke.
Yes.
I mean, they come in saying like, I've yet to hear you sing something straight. Like their whole thing, and they're singing "If I'm the bottom, you're the top." Like it's just a rolling punchline,
hit after hit after hit,
after hit. It's great. Now, ostensibly, they are there because they have found out from Kurt, right? Is that the chain of command here? They found out Kurt told someone who told the Barrys, the fathers Barry, that Finn and Rachel have gotten engaged at the ripe old age of 16 and or 17. And they are pretending to be happy in a long con to get the young lovers to realize that they are too fucking young to get married. It doesn't work. Sort of.
It works for a bit because Rachel has the most insane bedtime routine I've ever seen in my entire life.
She does, yeah. So the Hummels and berries, the Hudson-Hummel berries.
Hudson-Hummel berries, yeah.
Hudson-Hummel berries. The dads throw a Valentine's Day dinner to welcome Finn to the family, but also just sort of to reverse psychology, scare the shit out of the two of them. And we discover that Rachel spends, I don't know, 6 hours getting ready for bed.
Yes. Okay, how the fuck is it only 7:15 at the end of the episode? They had dinner. She did all of that.
Yeah.
Which it was like shaving her legs, and she like washed and conditioned, blow dried, and brushed her hair and all this bullshit. And then they're like, oh, it's 7:15. No way.
No way.
On God's green earth.
What, did they go directly from school to dinner?
I guess. I was like, I can't even appreciate the joke.
Yeah, they can't have, because first they had to scat at the piano for like 6 hours.
Oh, right. Okay.
So they must have gone.
Pre-dinner show.
Yeah, there was a pre-dinner show. So maybe they went from like third period to the piano to dinner at 4. So then spend 3 hours shaving her legs and doing everything else. And like, also, why would you shave your legs every single night?
Yeah, what the fuck?
You're really gonna dry out your skin and ruin your razors.
That's some shit I would do in high school, though, when you're like paranoid about what other people think of you, aka Rachel Berry. Now she has like dark like hair. She's like, can't let me see that.
I did completely believe her anal retentiveness over her bedtime routine, because it totally jives with her like pilot episode. This is my routine in the morning. Right. Of her like on the elliptical that I don't think we've ever seen again, and doing that whole thing. So it jives, but it does not make sense that it would be 7:15 at night after that. So I think of all the plot inconsistencies in Glee, this is really the key.
This is where they really fucked up.
This one bothers me the most.
I think this is really where it's not jumping the shark. It's just not understanding the flow of writing, you know?
It's like I can suspend my disbelief a lot, but when you put like you have put things concretely in time. They had dinner and then she did a 50-step routine that would take time. Like even if all of those routine steps took the minimum amount of time possible, there's just no way it is 7:15. Because then they had a whole argument too.
Because Finn wanted to take a dump.
Did Finn get to take his dump? Also a question.
Maybe he had to use the bathroom at Breadsticks. He had to hold it. I mean, I appreciated that they called out that these two people have never spent the night together, let alone lived together, and that getting married when you haven't lived in each other's faces is dumb.
But you're 17.
But they're
so
17.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was one of those, to me, it was another one of those, here's kind of a big plot point just crammed into 5 minutes. Like we know they're not going to be able to live together. They haven't even had a sleepover. Like I know it's weird when the person you're seeing has to take a dump, but let's learn. Maybe that's what he gets Rachel for Christmas, is an Everybody Poops book.
Well, like, it's especially weird with them, like, being in high school and going straight to getting married. Because, like, I'm thinking about in college, you learn to, like, share space with a person, share a bathroom with a person, sometimes
Yeah.
with several other people, and like, being annoyed by other people's routines and learning to tolerate it is an important skill. And, like, I shared a bathroom with my brothers for most of my life, but I never, like,
Mhm.
I feel like it still wasn't the same as, like,
Mhm.
going to college, like, living with a roommate and experiencing that kind of conflict.
Yeah, I think I know people think college is like really, it's about your education and it's about your classes. Like, no, it's really about learning how to deal with other people.
Yeah.
Is what college is really all about. It's the teacher you don't like, it's the classmate you can't stand, and it's your roommates. The education, the actual classwork is like third on the list of important life skills that you're going to learn.
Dude,
Especially
100%.
if you're an introvert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's yeah, learning how to manage social energy in a way you maybe didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
For me,
100%.
college and people is a lot different than high school and people.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot, yeah. And that she's in high school and hasn't had to bend to anybody. Clearly not her dad's. Like, there are no boundaries in this house. Jesus.
She's an only child and she's, like, perfect to them. Like,
Mhm.
she's never had conflict in the household.
No, but you would think that by now she's learned a little conflict in the Glee Club.
No, Mr. Schuster just lets her have her way.
Honestly, that's true. And you should say it.
I almost called him Dr. Schuster.
Doc-
Gosh, where did that come from?
Dr. Schuster.
Okay. What would Mr. Schu's PhD be in?
Mr. Dr. Schuster. It would be in Spanish, obviously.
Oh, I wish it was in education. He might be a better teacher.
I don't know about that. I think if he'd gotten a PhD in education, he would have realized he's not a good teacher. But then he would then start teaching classes to little baby teachers, and it would just be this endless cycle of bad
And that's academia. Pedagogy, yeah.
Pedagogy. Like, and that's academia. You're right.
Exactly. Dun-dun-dun. Like, that's the whole thing.
He uses the Aristotelian method. I don't know.
Speaking of Mr. Schuster, he is, like, not in this episode, and then that's fantastic.
It's great, right? He's not here at all.
Love that about season 2. 3. Sorry, I meant 3. I was thinking of season 2 and trying to remember if it was the same, and I feel like it was not. There was more to Mr. Schu in season 2.
There was, yeah. Yeah.
They've really, like, gone all the way into.
Well, we've also
nobody cared.
Yeah. For season 3, we have added Blaine as a full-fledged character.
Right.
Rory, Sebastian, Sugar, a little bit of Shane, Sam is a full-time character. Like, we've added all. I know we make fun of like the newbies, but season 3 also adds a good handful of new characters who eat up screen time. So
yeah, I mean, part of that is because that was the big year for the Glee project.
It was. Thank you for that segue too. I was wondering how we were going to get there. Because in this episode we meet yet another Glee project member, Joseph Hart, also known as
Samuel Larson.
I was going to say Teen Jesus.
Oh. I thought you forgot his name after you looked it up earlier.
No,
Sorry.
I was waiting for the like Teen Jesus.
That was Mandy's line. Sorry.
It was.
Yeah, I
blew it
on the line. I was too busy thinking, man, I really don't like him. What am I going to say about how I don't like him?
I know. God. The
Yeah.
way that the character they wrote for him too makes no goddamn sense.
Mm-mm. No, it's
You're
just
telling me you're homeschooled in a super, super religious household, but they let you get tattoos
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and dreads? No, absolutely not.
Tattoos, which not a problem with tattoos. But also
I don't have a problem,
no,
but religious people do. 100%.
Exactly. The combo of not only long hair but dreads. He has a nose ring.
Yes.
And tattoos. And
ain't no way this kid is 15 years old. He's
no.
like, I'm a sophomore.
Yeah, he was like,
what?
So I guess that means I'm a sophomore. Like, okay, that's just for people like us who complained about never knowing what grade they were in. And it's wrong. Like, that's
no goddamn way.
That's a 30-year-old man. He is not a sophomore.
So did you guys even watch the Glee project? Like, did you?
I did.
Oh, no, I did not. So this one's all Mandy.
I watched it.
What did you think about these people who show up on season 3? So we've got Rory, we've got Joe, and then Unique is going to come in later on. Like,
there was also another one, Lindsay
Pierce.
Gerber baby.
Gerber baby.
Yeah, Gerber baby. She was also from the show. The people I liked best didn't win.
Bummer.
Was it Emily?
One of them, I can't remember her name. I can't remember the actress's name. She's in a wheelchair, and then she went in.
Oh, yeah.
Allie.
Yeah. I saw her.
She dated another contestant.
Oh.
And I am just a sucker for my lesbians. So
yes, I remember that. Okay, yes, it's coming back.
But the girl she dated is actually one of the people I liked best.
Allie Stroker.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. They broke up.
Wow, depressing.
A couple of years ago.
Lesbians aren't allowed to break up. That's illegal.
But I remember liking Damien a lot, partly because for his like introduction into it, or maybe it wasn't at the beginning, maybe it was one of the songs at the end. Anyway, he sings Jesse's Girl, but he gets the lyrics wrong.
I remember that. I remember seeing like the video.
So he sings, "I wish that I could be Jesse's girl."
Oh, that's right. He's like, I wish that I was Jesse's girl.
Yeah,
I was Jesse's girl.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, the other ones, I remember really enjoying it when it was on for the reality show aspect, and just immediately forgetting about each character on the show.
I'm just looking through their names. Like, I don't remember any of you.
I feel like
so Samuel won. That's okay. So Damien and Samuel Larson won season 1.
They both equally won? Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. Schuster, you always do this.
See, that's especially shitty because they were supposed to each get the same amount of episode run then, right? But Rory stays in through the whole season. So really they decided who won. Really Damien won.
Yeah.
Danny Shay is the name of the one I liked.
Okay, it's coming back to me. I never watched it, but I remember it being on Tumblr.
I mean, this was never the spinoff that people wanted. They wanted the Warblers or they wanted the Kurt and Blaine Variety Hour. They didn't ask for a reality show. Which,
I mean, yeah.
It although this woman's name is McKinley from Paducah, Kentucky, but it's like McKyn. Like, Jesus, stop it.
Oh God.
McKinley.
Yeah. I wonder if like Ryan already knew he wanted to do a newbies thing and thought maybe that would be a good way to cast them.
Right. I mean, it definitely made me feel more attached to the newbies instead of having to get to know them. So maybe there was some genius in there because after there's one more season of the Glee project after this, and then they
that was it.
Yeah.
So maybe
that
picture's really cute, Mandy. Wow.
Well, the problem here is that season 2, Blake Jenner wins. Jake Blenner.
Jake Blenner. I was thinking of him, but I was like, don't bring him up. He doesn't need airspace.
I wonder if like maybe there just weren't enough people in the cast that they liked from this time around. I mean, I don't know. They didn't keep anyone long term, right? From this season of,
only Unique.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember what happens to Joe Hart. Like,
he doesn't come back after this season, and neither does Damien. Unique comes back for the next season, and she comes back again for season 6. Yeah.
Okay, so Unique is in it the entire way.
She like leaves for a while and then comes back because Alex Noel said something on Twitter about it. That he like begged for his job back or something. I don't know. It was something about the Leah Michelle scandal.
The scandal that keeps on giving. Whatever, just don't take time away from Sugar Motta.
Yes.
See, I'm realizing rewatching this with you guys that I slept on Sugar Motta the first time around. I did not respect her enough.
There's no wrong time to fall in love with Sugar Motta.
I know.
I'm just glad you're doing it.
I'm just really bad at admitting when I was wrong about something, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to learn and grow and say that I was wrong about Sugar Motta the first time I watched it.
She's fucking delightful, and the scene where she's holding the money out and like shimmying is one of the best gifts to this day.
Yeah,
I think because Vanessa is so confident as an actor, at least like on screen, that her stupid little mannerisms and her outrageousness just work. Like,
it's fantastic.
I was just saying before we started recording about an actor who seems to like the character. She seems to be having fun doing this, even though the shit that she says is insane and her character is banana nut. She's having a good time, and I think it comes across in a way that elevates the character itself.
I think she also fit in well with the cast, where maybe the other newbies did not have much
fondness for her still, or at least that group of secondaries got along well.
Right.
Yup. So good for you, Vanessa. Can't pronounce your last name, and I don't want to screw it up. Whatever it is. Lengies? Is it a hard G or a soft G?
I always said Lengies with a soft G, so I don't know.
Well, it's GIF, not GIF. What was the plot of this episode?
Do we want to talk about like a dislike, or go through the good things first
and then get to the bad at the end? Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talking about Joe Hart and Sam Larson. Samuel Larson. The character is Joe Hart. The episode is called Hart. Is that a coincidence? I don't fucking know. But I think no. He has arrived at McKinley for reasons no one cares about and joins the God Squad because he is highly religious. And the God Squad is doing, what do they call it? Vocal Valentines, I think. Which, I don't know if that was a thing at your high school. But you can send... Oh, God, I would have died of embarrassment. But you can send a vocal Valentine to your sweetie in school and disrupt classes. And yeah, you know, so the conflict here is that Santana wants to send a vocal Valentine to Brittany, and they have to have some sort of conversation about whether or not a Jesus-based organization should participate in a gay song.
What's amazing is that... Sorry.
No, even though 3 of them are in the Glee club. Like,
well, they say that. They're like, 3 of us are in Glee clubs. So we basically sing in front of gay people all the time.
Like, this to me... So I did a quick read. Samuel Larson is religious, and the reason... And one thing that Ryan Murphy liked during the Glee project is that he's religious and also an actor. So just put that right into the character, which is boring when you just...
Excuse me, Glee is not a documentary.
No. I'm sorry.
Take that shit out.
Sorry. Edit, cut, strike. Never. He didn't didn't straight up just say that he liked that part of the actor and put it into the character.
Murphy would never admit.
Never. So since that didn't happen, the character of Joe Larson, why not? Joe Hart just happens to be religious and also gonna potentially have an issue with singing to the gays. And the God Squad has to have a really dumb conversation about the Bible versus homosexuality.
What I really love about this plot is that Santana asked them out of total spite
Mhm.
that Biggins was like, someone complained about you kissing in the hallway because of their religious freedom. And she was like, oh, bet you guys
Yeah.
are a Christian group singing. Why don't you?
Yep.
I'll put my $10 in the ring to make you guys fucking put up or shut up.
Mm-hmm.
I love that about her.
I do too. I also do things out of spite. So I really appreciated where she was coming from there. It did feel like a chance for Ryan to get up on some weird bully pulpit and say, but there's room for religion and gays at the same time. Like, yeah, you're not going to solve the divide here between religion and sexuality.
Well, you know what? This was way before like marriage equality or any of that. So I really think Ryan Murphy is the reason we have gay rights. I'm just going to say it.
You know what? I think you're right.
We just don't give Brian enough credit for all he's done.
I think
he made 6 seasons of Glee and that 1 season of The New Normal.
And he solved gay rights. Wow.
He gave us rights.
Wow. That, we shit on him a lot, but I salute.
Because he's Brian Murphy, if we piss him off, he will take them away again.
He reserves that right.
He does.
He'll keep those American Horror Story ratings up to par.
Up to 0.5.
You guys, there's so many fucking seasons of that show. I was looking at it on Netflix. I was bugging.
Too many.
The upside is, though, there's only 10 episodes a season.
True.
So you don't have to watch all 22.
Who would want to, honestly? Ryan Murphy, keep a show together for 22 episodes? Never.
Oh, no, we watched Glee. We know what happens.
We know.
We know. So the conflict, the religious conflict that has been occurring for, I don't know, 2,000 years, 2,020 years, is solved in 42 minutes, and they sing Santana a song in the courtyard.
Sugar Shack.
So I do need to bitch about this a little bit first, though. I really resent the fact that the way this show chose to show the conflict was by taking these people who have gay friends like Sam, Quinn, Mercedes, all good friends with, well, eventually will be good friends with Kurt and Blaine.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any problem singing to or with them in class, but when they get together and be like, oh wait, we're religious people, and Mercedes even specifically says because her church will be there, we have to decide if we can actually tolerate them or not enough to sing to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been friends for 3 years, but now we have to think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just reminded me so much of the act. I live in the Bible Belt. There are a lot of people that will privately be your friend, but when it comes to having to acknowledge your sexuality, suddenly, no.
And I also like that they had to make this decision locked away in a room talking to only themselves instead of widening the conversation. You know what? We three will figure this out on our own instead of broadening our horizons, which haven't been an issue for us this entire time.
But you know what? There was someone who sent us an ask on Tumblr about wanting us to talk about Faberry, which I was not. When he's like, I've never met anyone who's gay, which I had also technically never met anyone who was gay at that age, but I definitely had, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But anyways, Quinn goes, oh, you definitely have. And I'm like, okay, how are you so sure, Quinn Faberry? I totally get why people were shipping it.
Yeah.
I think the Faberry, it's cute. And partly because Quinn and Rachel have actually had some deeper conversations than other characters. They've worked out some shit together, and that is the basis of many relationships on TV shows and potentially in real life. Who knows? I don't know. Do you talk to your wife about important things?
Often.
So, at our sample size of 1, it seems that having emotional conversations with somebody maybe brings you closer to them.
I feel like the writers would never have gone in that direction because there were just too many other love interests for both of them.
Mm-hmm. There are.
And that was like, I feel like mostly that was just like not in mind for them for Rachel. And that's the most important thing. And like what we,
Yeah.
this
Sure.
whole show revolves around what we want for Rachel. So, but I think it would have been really interesting. And, you know, spoilers, like later when Quinn does hook up with Santana, I think it totally makes sense.
Yeah, and like I'm sure, spoiler again, I'm sure they thought that that little aside of like Quinn and Santana hooking up was just a joke, but I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I think for most people watching the show, it was a little less of a joke and more of a, huh, all right, cool. We see you.
But you know what? As stupid as the whole religious conflict over being gay thing plotline is, that was a huge topic of conversation in that time and space. And honestly, is in some ways a conversation again right now, unfortunately, with like
Yeah.
the Thomas Alito Supreme Court opinion, you know, talking about how Obergefell has led to religious discrimination basically against people who don't who like being gays against their religious beliefs so they can't like provide services. It's such bullshit, but like that's literally what we're going through in our country right now. Again. So
I am so fascinated by people in a predominant worldwide religion who claim discrimination.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, they can use the word discrimination and what they like instead of parsing out that they're using the wrong word or not, that they feel like the world is against them. Like, but you're on the top of the food chain, you know that, right? Like Catholics and white Christians don't get to feel discriminated, especially in this country where we've only had one Catholic president, as if Catholicism is somehow vastly different from Christianity.
we're about to have two, bitch. Joe Biden 2020.
Joe Biden 2020.
Thank God.
Like people are actually worried that the president who might be Catholic might hold the Pope first in line to country. Like, so arguments about people who are religious who claim discrimination because they don't want to serve somebody who goes against their religion. Like, you know, that's the discrimination, is that you are not serving them. Like, you get that, right? It's not I think it was in What the Constitution Means to Me, the play, where she talks about how in the Constitution there are positive rights and negative rights, where the Constitution infers upon you the right to something or it protects you from something. And religious people seem to think that they have no positive rights, but they all of them are positive rights to them. No one has ever forced a religious person to do something the way non-religious people get forced into the predominant religion, if that makes sense. Which
Definitely.
it's, to me, like the easiest, which is so off topic for Glee, but the easiest example for me is abortion, where you never have to have an abortion. You know that, right? Like if you are anti-abortion, you just don't get one. Like, why do you get to tell someone else what they can or cannot do when you don't want to be told that you can't tell somebody they can or cannot do something? Like, where's the logic? Oh,
Well, the
right,
thing
it's
is,
not there.
when Roe versus Wade was passed, like there was bipartisan support.
I
for
know.
it.
It's
So
crazy.
everything that you're saying goes back to what people hear every Sunday when they're sitting in the
Yeah.
pews.
It's also the evangelical side and less just,
Yeah.
you know,
No, yeah, like it's definitely
Lutherans
like
don't give a fuck.
people go to church and they do not critically think.
No.
Well, first of all, we go to school and we don't critically think because our modern school system was to turn out factory workers.
It really
So
was.
like elementary, middle, high school students are not learning to critically think. Then they go to church on Sunday and they don't critically think about what they're being told.
Nope.
And if you do critically think, then you leave. So all like, anyone who defected from the church. And so all that's left are people who genuinely want to be oppressed. They want to be oppressed so fucking bad. And I remember being a kid in church and hearing them say, like, you need to put on your spiritual armor and the spiritual warfare out there is going to corrupt you. And yeah, it's straight up indoctrination.
It is indoctrination.
Horrifying.
And it's this very like reverse persecution, maybe, like everyone's out to get me, so I have to get everybody else. Like the Crusaders were not protecting anybody. Like, what are you fucking doing? Stop it. You are just raping and pillaging. No, we're out to defend Christianity. Like, no, you're not. You're just waging war. And it's like that mentality just shrinks itself down into individual action here of, if I sing a song to a lesbian in a high school, then Christianity is dead. Is this the battle right here? Is this the hill you're gonna die on? Is a singing telegram?
The brainwashing part of it is that everything is supposed to be the battle. Like, you were supposed to see a battle in Starbucks cups and happy holidays and anyone asking you to do anything that your church didn't approve of.
It's nuts. Yeah. It
goes back to that whole, like, have you read the article on Mormonism or is it
that one article on Mormonism?
Witnesses, I don't know, basically like talking about how doing Christian outreach is not supposed to help you recruit new people into the religion. It's supposed to make you feel alienated when they're not nice to you for walking up and knocking on their door. Right. And then you go back to the people who are nice to you, who are your church people, and it just makes you feel even closer to them.
I did read that recently. That was so crazy. I'd never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
Also, like, biblically, the church is just people. It's not a building, but like, that's cool, whatever. Wouldn't want to bring like the actual text of a book that was written by like 600 people over the course of 2 millennia, but that's fine. It's cool. I can say that I have a degree.
I kind of wish in some ways that, like, I mean, obviously they couldn't because Samuel Larson already signed a contract, but I almost wish this plot had ended with Joe Hart being like, sorry, I can't do this. And the other 3 people in God Squad being like, fuck you. That's not my religion. So we're going to do it without you.
That would have been super interesting. You're right.
Yeah.
Because these things don't, because these things don't always end with kumbaya, right? Sometimes it ends with someone saying that they can't and won't change their mind. Especially now.
And that shouldn't change, like, Santana and Brittany's happiness, Like, I'm just so tired of movies where it's always so apologetic for people who are fucking bigots and abusers and narcissists. Like, fuck that, man.
Where the hurt is put on the oppressor and not on the person they're oppressing.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't we feel bad that Santana has to feel like she can't send a telegram to her girlfriend and not like, oh, I wonder how Joe feels about this? Like, I don't give a fuck how Joe feels about this.
I mean, I would rather have had a scene where, like, Kurt and Blaine and Santana talk about how shitty it is that these people that they've been friends with for 3 years
had to think about it.
Sure.
Yeah. No. Yes, you're right. Because the reaction should have been from Santana or from Quinn and Mercedes, especially, just being like, yeah, no, we're going to do this, obviously. Like, why is this a question?
Yeah. The fact, and that's what I wrote in my notes about the scene. Like,
you're right. The rest of this conversation doesn't matter. Like, no, that's the key point. Yes, you're right. You're right, Mandy.
I will take my rightness and wear it with pride. Gay pride.
Takes me 60 minutes to say something, and you're just like, well, actually, it's like this. Like, yeah, it is. You're right. Well, speaking of Mercedes, is that a segue?
Segue.
Why not?
We have our Sam Sadie section of the episode. where someone in the Glee club feels guilt about hurting someone else's feelings.
Didn't know they were capable of that.
I know.
First and only time.
I know. So Sam is clearly still gunning for Mercedes, and she tells him that she told Shane about their summer fling. And she straight up acknowledges that she was a stone cold teenager to Shane. But also says that she can't just jump over and be with Sam, which I thought was interestingly nuanced for this show.
See, it's weird because it's nuanced and I appreciate it. I like it a lot. But also it's a sign that the writers didn't give too much of a fuck about this storyline, because the things the writers care about get treated so horribly. Like, it would have been a long drawn out thing
Right.
if it were like Sam with like Rachel and Finn or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I like it, but also it makes me bitter because I'm like, you didn't do this on purpose. You did this accidentally.
Yeah.
You accidentally made another good story.
Yep.
That's really the only way Glee can do it, so
It's Mike O'Malley syndrome. Bert's that good because they didn't, have enough of him to screw up.
To screw up, yeah. No, that's right. Yeah. And I, in my notes, I wrote that I was not vibing on Sam Sadie's the first time around, but now I am.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it a lot.
And we're now like 6 some episodes into a story arc. Like,
I forgot that they got this much screen time.
Me too.
Which might have been like just me the first time watching it, again, having like Klein eyes, which I'm not gonna say I regret, because I really enjoyed being part of that fandom when it was still good. But it is nice to like give a shit about other characters now.
Yeah, no, it is. And to be able to focus on them. Like,
Santana and Brittany were so fucking cute in this episode.
They
and
were.
I never appreciated that before.
I know. I just didn't. I liked it, but I was so myopic about Klaine.
That one look that Brittany and Santana share during Home, I actually paused and replayed it.
I know.
It was so sweet.
So cute. How dumb were we?
And like their outfits at the end at the Sugar Shack, and they're so cute and cuddly.
They
and
are cute. They're doing like the hand thing with the knuckles. Like, it's adorable. It really, really is. We've completely glossed over the songs that they've been singing to each other, but I suppose we could wrap up plot and just critique the music.
I was gonna mention, because we brought up Sam Sadie's, like, oh my god, Amber Riley singing "I Will Always Love You." Like, there's Dolly Parton, then there's Whitney Houston, then there's Amber Riley's version. Like, these are the defining versions of this fucking song.
And there's no one else.
And there's no one else. Like,
yeah, I know. And I was so glad that there was no bullshit fight between Rachel and Mercedes over who got to sing the song.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't even a question and hopefully that held true for Ryan Murphy, where he wasn't like, well, maybe Leah should sing it. Like, no.
Yeah.
No. There is one person on this show and one person only. And she did it. And she looked amazing doing it. Like, she looked...
Yes, she got the fantasy sequence with the gown.
Exactly. Like the movie star look.
Another interesting song moment is that Tina and Mike just randomly get a beautiful duet that's really sweet and fun.
They do. Yeah.
No other plot line. Just one really nice duet.
Yep. That's one of the songs where I was like, well, I guess this might be considered one of the world's better love songs because it's classic.
Yeah, Love, right?
Yeah, Nat King Cole, I think.
I mean, I enjoyed that. I have already forgotten that they did that in the episode, though.
But they didn't even really get a whole scene because it was intercut with like the Rory versus Artie like Sugar's Heart battle that was happening. Which, by the way, fuck Rory for lying.
I know.
To go on a date? Trash.
And I had forgotten what his storyline was anyway. He was like, oh, I have to go back to Ireland. I was like, oh, I guess maybe this is the end of his arc, and I just don't remember. Like, oh, that's his contract up. And then he was like, I'm lying to you. Like, fuck, that's right. What a creep.
No, see, I thought that too, but then he was like, oh no, at the end of the school year, I have to go back. And I'm like, dude, it's fucking February.
I mean, we're assuming that.
Michael Bublé.
Yeah. Bublé. And again, he did not do the assignment.
Yeah, definitely not one of the world's greatest love songs.
And like looking at you, Artie, you know that that's not one of the world's greatest love songs. As if you couldn't have found. He did the "Let Me Love You."
Oh, you should let me love you. They love to give him boy band songs.
I know.
Or like R&B.
Which is fine. It sounds great. It was fun. I was weirdly drawn to Chris dancing in this one. He like
yes.
He's always very awkward. No offense to the Chris Dans, but like small offense. Looked like he was having fun in this one. Like he was kind of grooving to it, and I was like, oh, someone's having a good day on set.
I mean, I feel like season 3 may have been Chris's like golden era of Glee.
I think so too, actually.
I mean, he had good storylines. He had
except for this one.
Love interest. Well, except this one. He had a love interest, and he wasn't being threatened to like ship off to Russia yet.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I would agree, and we could do, I don't know, like a 6-hour episode on Chris and Glee. But I think these were song choices that were in part to get the listeners, get the streams, get the downloads. Because
it was a very music heavy episode.
It was a music heavy episode, and there were better songs. Like there's a big love song catalog in the world. They could have.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie though. Stereo Hearts was fun. Was it good? No. Is it objectively a good song? No. But they had fun, and I thought the 4 of them singing together, like Sam, Joe, Mercedes, and Quinn, was interesting.
Yes, I wrote somewhere that I was like, that's not bad. Yeah, it's good. And I also did write that for some reason the people in the courtyard seem to enjoy this performance when normally they're like throwing things at the Glee Club.
It depends on the week.
I guess it depends on.
Do we hate the Glee Club?
Yeah, who the extras are that week.
Or I guess it wasn't the Glee Club. It was maybe
it's the God Squad.
Really religious, and they love the God Squad.
Oh, that tracks. I think that sounds right.
One of my all-time favorite like Glee changes to a song. Like there's a few that I really like. Where they redo the lyrics.
I bet I can guess.
Oh, when he says, "Yeah, Trouty, I can handle that."
Yep. Yep.
Instead of
I wanted you to rap it.
Oh, I couldn't remember the line. Wait, let me look it up.
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, "Oh my god, that's right, Trouty mouth."
Oh yeah, like read it well, check it, Trouty, I can handle that. That one.
Yep. Peak Glee.
It's a pretty good episode, but the only plot is like plots I don't like. Like I don't care about Finn and Rachel getting married. Love Rachel's dads, but I don't give a fuck about them getting married. Fuck the Karofsky storyline, which we haven't even talked about yet because it sucked. And only Blaine appearing with a heart-shaped eye patch could revive the episode after that. So it's like,
yeah, we have been ignoring a key plot here, and that is that Karofsky's a stalker and did not need to return to the show. No offense, Max Adler, it's not your fault. But like, poor Kurt spends this entire fucking episode thinking that his mortally injured boyfriend is sending him secret admirer Valentines, and he's all happy and giddy about it. It's super cute, and there's like a gorillagram, which is creepy, but like McKinley's creepy, so I just bought it. I was like, sure, they would do this. And no,
God Squad singing, gorillagram, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. But no, it's fucking Karofsky. And
Who, by the way, goes to a different
He
high
goes
school.
to a different school. Yeah.
Sneaking into fucking McKinley and leaving stalker cards in his locker.
Someone who has a boyfriend which Kurt rightfully kind of illuminates, but has a boyfriend who you stalked, physically and verbally assaulted, and hurt. And you think that because you've had a good couple months at your new school that you're in love with Kurt? Like, what? And knowing what happens with Karofsky later too is like, who's fucking Max Adler? Like, why is he continuously coming back? And again, no offense, no fault to Max. Decent actor, I guess, seems to be a nice person.
But, we should do an episode just breaking down, like, Karofsky's storyline this season. Not that we want to do that, but it doesn't make any sense because it's like they saw him at Scandals, and that was the perfect end to Karofsky's role on this show.
It was.
But Ryan Murphy and Ian and Brad are just like, you know what we need on this show? More gay pain. We already had Santana come out to her grandmother and get rejected. Let's just add on top. Let's put some more in there. Like, fuck you, dude. How did 3 gay guys put this show together?
I get angry about it on Max Adler's behalf a little bit too, or like on behalf of every, like, I don't know a better word for this. So I'm just going to say non-Twinkie pretty gay guy.
Yes.
Because, like,
I get it though.
No, I mean, Kurt and Blaine get their happy ending, but Karofsky just keeps, as much as I hate him coming back, I kind of hate just as much that every time he comes back, it's just to get hurt again.
Right. Yes.
It's just kind of shitty of them to do to him as a character, even aside from me not liking the other things they do with his character eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are other queer characters on this show to explore. Why this one and only to make him feel bad? Like you have I don't know, can't count that quickly, but you have main characters who are queer who deserve extended storylines that can include angst and hurt comfort and all our little fic tropes. Like, you don't have to bring in a guest star to continuously do this. And someone who was physically violent, the main character.
Yeah,
like,
that's the fucking cherry on top. Like, this is Kurt's abuser who he managed to find some sort of closure and amicableness with. And really, you just gotta keep, and it doesn't end here.
Keep shoving it. Yeah.
There are shittier things that happened this season, I think. But I'm just like, I'm preemptively pissed off that we're gonna have to watch and talk about, because I know we're gonna all have a lot of feelings of anger.
I
know.
Everything towards the writing staff.
Here's the other question that I have is, was this decision to bring Karofsky back for this episode because Darren wasn't there? Or if Darren hadn't taken the time off and Blaine was in the episode, would Karofsky still have been hitting on Kurt with Blaine right there? Or was this just like, oh, Darren's gone, how else are we gonna fuck this up? Like, which came first? Broadway or a bad plot?
Well, obviously this episode was a setup to the next episode about the Karofsky plot, which might be the next episode.
That requires planning ahead, and I didn't
Yes, On My Way is the next one. Oh, fuck that episode. God damn it, I'm not ready. Okay, so that's extra dumb because Finn and Rachel in this episode were like, we're getting married in May, but then don't they get married in the next
they go to the courthouse and then the thing happens. But yes, so they go to a courthouse. I can't remember if they like jumped the gun though. Yeah, can't remember. I'm just looking at the stills from this episode and I'm already mad. Except for the music. Music's good. That's the sigh of a Glee fan who's already done.
Like, you know?
So I think I'm going to skip this episode. You guys talk about it, and I'll be back for the next one.
We'll get a guest star. Who wants to guest and talk about the fucking episode On My Way? God, fuck that episode.
Yes. Kurt and Karofsky.
And
full offense to Kurtofsky fans.
Full offense.
Full offense. Cannot with you. So
if any of them are listening and want to come on,
yeah, if you
would yeah,
we have a mini series just for you. That's my ship, and you get to come on and you get to explain yourselves, and you'll get.
By the way, check out our mini series on Patreon.
That's my ship. You get 20 to 40 minutes to explain yourselves. So if there's a Kurtofsky person out there, call us, but not on the phone because we won't answer. So poor Kurt thinks it's Blaine. It's not Blaine. It's his abuser, and it sucks. And he goes to the Sugar Shack Valentine's Day party, still expecting to be alone, until the beat drops, and there be Blaine. After a long episode and a half absence.
Yes.
And his eye patch. Cute. What is Sugar says cute and compact as ever. Which
cute and compact as ever.
I thought was cute. Personally.
Love Shack.
Love Shack is amazing.
Yes. As usual, I am a sucker for a group song.
It's a really good group number.
And it's such a cute group song.
Yeah.
And it's a Klaine song. I will go down fighting if anybody says it's not.
Yeah. I mean, the tie grab alone makes it a Klaine song.
But you know what pissed me off the most? I just saw on Wikipedia that this was the first episode where Santana and Brittany kissed on screen.
Really?
Wow. What it says. I did not realize that.
I feel like I've seen them kiss in my mind before this.
I feel like there was one where Brittany was kissing like her neck or something, but this was the first time they were like kissing mouth to mouth. But there is obviously a Klaine kiss that is edited out when Blaine goes over and by the tie. There's this weird awkward cutaway to the crowd and then back, and I'm like, they fucking edited out a kiss 100%, and it probably was at the last minute because the editing is so fucking shitty. And just think of all the Klaine kisses that have been lost on the cutting room floor. Wow.
That would have made
song perfect.
I don't want to say I think about it a lot, but I do think about it a lot.
I think about it a lot.
It makes me angry that it seems like a situation where they were like, well, you gotta pick a gay.
Right, yeah,
literally.
One or the other.
I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
Which is, it's, I know. It's going to be like, it's 2012. It was a different time. Like, that's not that fucking long ago.
Yeah, I know. No.
Like, give us the Klaine kit. Like, someone out there has that footage, too. It's just sitting on Darren's phone, and I want it. Like the ice skating rink. I want it.
Yeah.
Give it to me. But it's a cute number. He leads a Congo line. And
he gets to say, knock a little louder, Sugar, and then she knocks, and it's so good.
It's so cute. Yeah. This was one of those group numbers where it looked like absolutely everyone was having a blast.
It also looked like, at least as far as like Chris and Darren go, it was solidly Chris and Darren.
Yes.
100%.
I think I said something like that. I was having some surprise Chris Colfer feels watching the Love Shack song. But yeah, I had like some weird Chris Colfer feels watching, especially when the two of them were on stage. And part, like B was just saying, is that it was not Kurt and Blaine. It was Chris and Darren like having fun on stage and feeling physically comfortable with each other in a way that kind of stops happening. And I can connect it to Supernatural. I'm not going to bother, but in that way that fandom shipping, I think, sometimes can affect the actors when they let it. And I think Chris and Darren let fandom shipping affect them and their takes on the character in a negative way. Where it didn't have to. People are like, well, people are people take shipping so seriously and they tweeted at the actors and it made them uncomfortable. Like, you can't make any, like, they made it awkward by, you don't want to blame the victim here. And it's a very complicated topic, as we know, shipping and RPF and all that. And everyone has different opinions, and that's fine. But I think it is somewhat on the actors to come to an understanding with their fandom. And part of that is to just fucking ignore it. And they didn't.
I think it definitely, I don't know, they had the disadvantage of being in the first generation of TV shows with a Twitter audience.
Oh, that is true.
So
I'll give them that.
I'll cut them that slack. I don't think, I mean, poor Jared, Jensen, and Misha have also come up through that generation, but they had to get used to it because their show's been on since the beginning of fucking time.
Yes.
So they kind of had to adapt.
First, there was the firmament, and then there was Supernatural.
Yeah.
The lands on the sea and the animals, and then Dean Winchester arose. Yeah, no, that is fair. I just think that the physical comfort of that scene with like the arm over the shoulder and leaning and the stuff that was cut, and like, you know, we can get into the ship, but like Darren had been gone for a couple weeks. First scene back, like, I don't know. I'm just saying that performance is more fun and more loose than some of their other ones, and I think it's noticeable. And that's all I have to say about that.
I agree with that.
And for $1, I'll tell you what I really think of Chris Colfer.
This is a Chris Colfer stan account forever. You can't turn it off.
It's true. It's true.
Anytime you think you're out, Darren films a whole video of him talking animatedly and passionately about Chris, and you get dragged right back in.
Just
like
it just comes right back Celine Dion style, and there's no escape.
Us about Chris Colfer. Wow, there's a TikTok idea.
There you go. That's on you, man. I don't face.
Follow us on TikTok. There's zero content there, but if I had some followers, I might create them. I'm just kidding. It's because I have 4 jobs. I would love to be on there with the kids.
Anyway, the episode. What are
we never finished. Did we talk about all the music? I feel like we did.
Yeah, basically. I mean, so I thought Cherish was cute. The Cherish combo. I like it. I think it sounds great.
That was cute. I feel like it didn't really hit as well as some of the other numbers. It was kind of, you know, they weren't like popular songs at the time.
You know, it was white bread, like not like capital W white, but like white bread,
like
bland. Yeah, it was just like, nah, okay, thank you. Next,
but it was for you know, the Britannia of it all. So
that is true.
That was it.
What if we Rachel and Finn decide that they are fine getting married in May? And I think that's everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
At 7:15 p.m. they decide.
At 7:15. So here's the other thing. Rachel did all of her nighttime routine and then showed up at Breadsticks with a full face of makeup and hair. So now she's going to have to do that all over again.
Yeah, she was in bed with Finn with mysteriously a full face of makeup and beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Just bullshit.
I know. The Kevin McScale. How's Kev?
I mean, he had some lines, but
he had a storyline. Yeah. It was quite funny when he kept having to go to like the trash can to get.
That was funny.
Was that like a 4? Because he got a song and a storyline.
I feel like that's a 4.
Yeah.
He just didn't have like the key lines that sometimes he gets.
Yeah. And he definitely wasn't like the A plot.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like that's not a 5, but
excellent.
Good job, Kev.
Good job, Kev.
The Klainedex. It's a hard one because Darren was on Broadway because Blaine's not there.
Yeah. Like there's not much of it, but what there is like in the episode is so good.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Kurt thought he was getting cards from Blaine the whole time. So
he
you could
did.
argue that there is a lot of Klaine
Mm-hmm.
throughout the episode.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't end badly. It's not like Blaine
Yeah.
is like, oh, right, Valentine's Day, that's a thing that you liked, and I don't, So it's like a
Never.
7?
Get that out of here.
7 for content?
I feel like 8, honestly.
8?
Like they don't get many songs. Like
No.
if Artie was a 4 out of 5, they're a 4 out of 5 too.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the tie pulling makes it an 8 for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
I accept that.
And the little shimmy.
And the Phantom and the Lost Kiss.
The Lost Kiss. And our Coulda Shoulda Woulda. Coulda Shoulda Woulda never had that fucking gorillagram.
Yeah, fuck that.
Also, would have just had the whole Christian storyline be told from the other side of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There should have
It's
been
like the same storyline, but just Santana, Kurt, and I don't know, maybe Blaine over the phone. Kurt, or just Kurt and Santana.
Yeah.
Yeah, did they have FaceTime back then? I don't know.
I think they were still texting on like the keypad. So
Mandy's headcanon of how that should have gone is way better than anything Glee could ever write. So
it's true. We stan.
I've sighed a lot this episode. Sorry. Cut it all out. I'm in my feels today.
Next time on Chris Colfer.
That's right. Wait, so Coulda Shoulda Woulda is like
I'm saying fuck the gorillagram, but also the Christian storyline.
Yeah.
I haven't
feel
been
like that's
putting numbers in. I've just been like,
you know what? I think that's fine because
Yeah.
a 100-point scale is hard.
it's really hard,
Yeah.
and I was forgetting to, and now I've decided to make it a conscientious choice.
Okay, I love it.
Um,
Because an index needs to have numbers.
exactly. Fuck that. It's 2020 still. Cool. I think that's the show. Right? Sure. I'm gonna run out of laptop battery, so it has to be.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
The next time on Glee and Glee on the Rocks, we're doing On My Way. And if that phrase doesn't give you PTSD, you probably didn't watch the show the first time around.
Wow. The nightmares.
The nightmares. And you know what?
Can't wait
I think
I said I can't wait to unpack that with you guys. Just unpack our trauma.
just have a little therapy sesh.
That's every episode of the Glee on the Rocks for me. So
It honestly is, yeah. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on all of the socials at the same URL because we're cool like that. And you can check out our Patreon for extra content like mini episodes and other mini episodes, including the new series that we talked about, That's My Ship. Great. Thank you for listening this entire time. If you're still here, bonus points to you. And that's what you missed on Glee? I don't know. I don't have another one.
Glee.